We're going to be talking about writing equation in a slope and an intercept form. You will be given a graph with a line. The second you see write an equation and then I see in slope intercept form. My step one is actually write the slope intercept form. So I will write y equals mx plus b. We've said earlier that we are only replacing the m and then we're only replacing the b. So these two letters will be replaced with numbers. And we've talked about how do I find m and how do I find b. What is m? M is the slope. And slope is how do I go from one point to the next point. Now when I talk about points, I talk about all the nice points where the line crosses them in the intersections of the squares. Basically, so that I can get nice coordinates. So if I look at this line, I see nice point in here. They already said this is a nice point. Another nice point is in there, and then this is a nice point. Slope, I'm gonna write it on a side in here. Slope is rise over run. When I say rise, I talk about y-axis, and run is my x-axis, right? So I'm gonna follow the y-axis and the x-axis using my slope. How do I go from one point to the next? Using rise over run. I will be creating little triangles in here. Now we just said rise is either up or down, right? Following the y-axis. So it's this line in here. From one point to the next. How many units is that? 1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna look at my run, which is 2 units. Now I'm gonna look and put it all in here. However, before I do that, I'm going to look at this line. I'm gonna draw this line. I'm gonna look at the line if I was to draw it from left to right. So this is the leftmost point, right? So I'm gonna go and draw this line from left to right, and I'm going down. So I know my line is negative. So the slope is gonna be negative. Rise was 3 units. Run is 2 units. So my m is negative 3 over 2. B is my initial value, right? My beginning, the starting point. B is the y-intercept. So that is telling me on the y-axis it has to intercept. So where does the line, the blue line, intercepts the y-axis? Well, I see that the line crosses the y-axis over here, right? That's literally where it intercepts. And that's my B. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is on number 5. So that's where y equals 5. So my B is 5. I found m and I found b. I can replace m and I can replace b. So let's do that. So y equals, m is negative 3 over 2. I still have the x, plus b is 5. And here's my equation. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 5. Let's look at one more example just to make sure. Let's look at this example 1. Write an equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Let me make this a little bit bigger. My step 1. Step 1 says, write the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Then I'm gonna think, all right, I am replacing the m with the number, and I am replacing the letter b with the number. So let's look. M. M stands for slope. So I want to know, how do I go from one nice point to the next nice point, right? Which tells me the steepness of a line. So let's find all the nice points, all the intersections. It's here, not this one, it's in here, not this one, in here, not, yes, and yes. So my M says rise over run, always to the right. Rise, which is my y-axis, over run, which is the x-axis. And I usually say pick the point that is the most to the left, right? So I'm gonna go from here. Rise over run, from one point to the next. I am creating my triangles. So my rise is how many units? 1, 2. My run is 1 unit. If I was to draw this line from left to right, from left to right, I'm going up. So my slope is positive because I'm going towards positive numbers. So my slope, rise was 2 units, run was 1 unit. I can write 2 over 1 also as just the number 2, right? Fraction is a division, so 2 divided by 1 is 2. That's my slope. Should you go the other direction, you can do so. So watch this, what will happen. How to go from one point to the next. All right, if you want to go run first, that's fine, right? But make sure you go from one point to the next. And remember, this is 2, this is 1, and then you have to just kind of make sure you look. My run is, my rise is 2, because rise comes first, and then run was 1. All right, so just keep that in mind. Now I have to find my B. B is where the line literally intersects, touches the y-axis. Well, this is my y-axis. Where does the blue line intersects the y-axis? That's my B. And it's over here. And it is a number, let's see. This is a 0, 1, and 2. That's my B. B equals positive 2. I found M and I found B. I'm gonna plug them in. So my Y equals, M was 2, and it's positive. I still have the X. B is positive 2. And voila. We're done.